You think low self-esteem is only about when you're shy to speak in public or you are inconfident to walk in public? Hell no. That is just a little, I mean, just a tip in what we know as low self-esteem. Hi everyone, I'm Mariam Adebusola Adiela and this is my growth story Unscripted, where I share my personal growth journey, how far I've come, and how I've changed and progressed over the years, just to inspire girls and women out there who are on the same journey with me. And today, I'm sharing with you how I conquered low self-esteem and became confident. As usual, this is unscripted. We flow with the message, we flow with the vibe, and we flow with the gist. Let's get started. Since when I was very, very young, primary school or through my secondary school, I was the type that's always strong when it comes to mingling with people. I would shrink when it comes to mingling with people. I've always been the playful type. When I'm among my peers, when I was among my peers, I was the playful type. But at the same time, I always felt like, okay, I didn't belong here, I didn't belong there. And I'll be looking for people that were also in my own category. I'll be looking for people that were just like me, that we all felt like, okay, we're small. I always try to not mingle with people that I considered big then. And thinking about it now, I don't want to say anything. So since when I was in primary school, I've always been the girl with little or no confidence. I've always tried not to. I always felt like, okay, I didn't belong here, I didn't belong there. Let's say from like in school, when I was still in primary school, in school, I related with everyone as my classmate. But this caucus thing, this clique thing has always been from when we're very, very young, when we're still in our when we were still kids, not even teens yet. This clique thing has started from there. So I was the type that I would always I would always mingle with the low class clique. And that was not because maybe I came from a low class family. I didn't come from a low class family. I would say I come from a middle class family. Yeah, not the elite type, but in terms of okay, influence and influence and financial capacity. Yeah, I came from the middle class, not the okay, the educated elite class, but in terms of influence and so social status and financial capacity, I came from the middle class. So, but then I would relate with kids that were considered okay, little too. Not that I was a dullard, I was a brilliant student. I was feeding well. But the thing is, come to think about it now, your confidence level, your esteem level is not even a matter of okay, how much you have or how rich you are. It's mostly about what you have inside of you, where you grew up, how you were brought up, your experiences. So sometimes financial status and social status too may actually be huge factor, but mostly your experiences growing up to determine how you will turn out to be, your confidence level and esteem level. So not to bore you too much, I would mingle with people I knew that okay, I will feel safe with them. Not the type of people that okay, I won't feel safe with them. I would be fearing or scared that they're not in my league. As I said earlier, I related with everyone. I We were good. We were all good from primary school, but at the same time, there was this invisible line that, okay, these people were out of my league in class and outside class. Their parents were at the same level with my parents. I mean, financially, social influence, they were at the same level with them. But their own lifestyle, yes, their own lifestyle was different. It was kind of okay. They were they were outspoken, they were classy, they were, those factors, they stood out, they were confident, and I was not. That was the edge they had over me. And they showed it in the way they carried themselves, they showed it in the way they talk, they showed it in the way they even related with other people. But I was always shrinking. So the low self-esteem thing always started from when I was very, very young. I carried it through secondary school. I mean, it's a whole lot of story. I carried it through my pre-university level. I had a gap year study before I entered the university. It was a whole lot. It showed in how the circle of friends I kept. It showed in how I related with people. It showed in how I showed up for myself too. It showed in my dressing. It showed in my way of speaking, in my manner of speaking. It showed in everything I did. You know, People that didn't even have what I had, they were giving preferential treatment over me just because I didn't show up well, just because I was not confident in myself, and the way I showed up, it didn't show I was confident enough. So all of those things were things that I have been struggling with since when I was very, very young. And most of the time, it might have been because of upbringing, childhood experience, and all of those. And sometimes it might be innate or biological. But thinking about it now, I felt like maybe mine was actually out of how I was brought up, because I was brought up in an environment where you speak when you were asked to speak. You talk when you were asked to talk. Yeah. So I grew up in that kind of environment where you could not really say too much. Well, I had when I said too much and I had when I could not say too much. So everything just culminated into one another, and it was more like it's it affected my esteem level totally and generally. I already established the fact that I suffered from low self-esteem, but how, in what way? And it has always been in segments. When I was in primary school, it was in the sense that I felt like, okay, these kids, they were way beyond me, they were out of my league, and I always tried to please them. I wouldn't do anything that would make me step on their toes. I wouldn't want to be on anyone's bad book. I wouldn't want to be that person that everyone in a clique is going against. You get that point? Because I had no one to fight for me. I didn't have a clique that will fight for me. My set of people to that I could consider okay, I was able to roll with, were not the kind of people that was to say, okay, well with you. They would rather be the one that, okay, when everyone was even against you, they would also go against this. It was more like that. No one would support the losing side. That's one thing I could take out of it. No one would always want to support the losing side. When you yourself you feel like a loser, no one wants to support you. Everyone would rather they come to the winning side, even if they were in your camp before. So right from when I was very, very young, I always tried not to step on anyone's toes. I always tried not to be in anyone's bad book, being it the older one, the younger ones, my peers too. And it showed in, when we were kids, it was inevitable that fight would not end. So I had situations where I had to go physical. Most of the time I would just, when I got angry, I would speak, shout, rant. But I was always afraid of going physical because I knew that, okay, this person will beat the hell out of me. I'd never ever been in a fight and be like, okay, I'm the confident that okay, I'll be this person. I knew in the back of at the back of my mind that this person would be there out of and if I could count it, I've never been a violent child. Yeah, I'd never been. I could count how many times I was because I remember vividly how many times I was encountered in physical range or physical rage or I ever had a physical encounter in combat. When I was in primary school, it would be less than 5 times throughout my primary school, but I could remember three, even two vividly. The third one was so not something I could say okay, it was a tangible fight. One happened in my primary school. This girl, she was from the other side, from my local government from other town, and where she came from, it was considered okay. These people they always eat swallow. They will beat the hell out of you. You know what they eat. They always have strength. This person always come up as that person that if you ever go in combat with this person will beat the hell out of you. And that one time that we had fight, I was I was so verbal. You were insulting me, I was insulting you back, all of those things. But the person beat me. Yeah, when it became physical, the person beat me. The second time would be maybe at home too. At home. This other person too was okay. In all these kids that okay, if you go into fight with this person, she will beat that out of you. We're friends, so we're cool, we're friends, and something happened, and that day she actually beat me. Yeah. Was there any other fight I had in primary school? Because in secondary school, I never fought with a lady in secondary school. In secondary school, I had series of fights, but all of the fights I had in secondary school were with guys. Yes, were with guys. I guess then that was it. It's a journey. No matter what, it's a journey. I've been on this growth journey for a very long time. I've been growing. Even when I thought, okay, I was still living in my deep, how do I put it, deep issues, let me call it issues, I was still growing. Because then in secondary school, I've grown out of the fact that no female can beat me. You dare not. If you come close to me, I'll beat the hell out of you. I had that mindset then. I agree with that. No one will beat me. So when guys even wants to go physical with me, I dare them. Come at me. I always dared guy at a point in time in secondary school. I dare them that come at me. You dare not beat me. And these people sometimes they'll beat me. Sometimes if I beat the hell out of some guys. But it was few times. I was never the violent type. And that was the last time I will ever go physical with someone. It was in secondary school, in junior class. Yeah, that was the last time in my entire life that I would go physical with someone. I would never ever go physical with anyone again in my life. Oh, I would get angry. I would get angry, speak, talk at the top of my voice. Yes, I guess the last time I was vexed, and I can't even remember when. When I was still in the university, then the last I would get angry because at a point I would get angry, but not angry that other people will even hear my voice, not to that extent. But at some point, I would get angry that I was going to speak at the top of my voice, scatter everything, but never ever go physical. Everything was verbal. So it was a gradual process. It has always been a gradual process. So I said earlier, my low self-esteem, my low self-esteem journey, or should I call it a journey? My low self-esteem space was in segments. Yeah, it was in phases. It was in segments. The time when I was in primary school, it came as a result of okay, I didn't want to step on anyone's toes. I didn't want to be in anyone's bad book. I knew that these people were out of my league. I was always trying to be in everyone's good book. I didn't want anyone to have any issues with me. I would do anything for for my peers just to have them in my to have me in their good book. Buy stuff for people, use my money to feed someone, and all of those silly thing. I've always thought, okay, I have been the loving and caring type. I am still, but thinking about it now, maybe I did all of those things because I didn't want to be in their bad books. Maybe because I gave more than I had. I gave more than I should give. Yeah, I gave beyond, way beyond what I should have given in first instance. So thinking about it now, I felt like I gave all the things I gave because I didn't want to be in anyone's bad book. So I would like buy stuff for peers, do this for them, do that for them. That was how it went in primary school. In junior class, I barely could, even in primary school, I barely could have the full image of how everything went, but that was just the highlight. In junior secondary school, too, through my senior secondary school, what I could say was the highlight of my low self-esteem then was the fact that first one, girls in junior class will want to like date guys in senior classes, and I'd always known that never, I could not be one of those girls that guys in senior class will want to date. Yeah, and it's because of the way I showed up, and at the same time, I was not even confident in my own self, and I was always trying to please the seniors too. Other girls that they knew that okay, they had the balls, that they think okay, they were the prize. They knew that okay, those seniors cannot try nonsense with them. That was one thing. Another thing was what? Yes, I was even shy to speak in public. I was shy to express myself. When people did wrong, I would be afraid to even speak up that okay, you did shit to me because I felt like I could not fight them. I felt like I would not win them. I would just if I talk to them, maybe they will even give me the beating of my life. So that one too. And at the same time, all this click issue. I'm not coming towards I'm now coming towards senior class now. There was this clique thing then too. I was always afraid that okay, if I go against this person, all of them would just like gang against me, and they will gang against me, and I will be the only one alone. I will be the lone wolf. I didn't want to be alone. Yeah, I didn't want to be in anyone's bad book, and yeah, and at the same time, I didn't consider myself. I don't know whether I've told this story in previous episodes. I have no idea. At the same time, I didn't consider myself, yes, the word is the prize. I didn't consider myself deserving enough to be loved by anyone. I didn't consider myself deserving enough to be loved by even a guy. I didn't consider myself deserving enough for a guy. I felt like if a guy would walk up to me and ask me out, wow, I was lucky. I felt like if a guy could even come up to me and ask me out, I was lucky. My low self-esteem phase in the university took the same route in the sense that it cut across how I worked, how I showed up, how I presented myself, how I dealt with friendship and all forms of relationship, how much I believed in myself. Since when I was young, since when I was a kid, apart from okay, maybe when I was dealing with people and the fact that I didn't think I was deserving enough, I knew that I was made for greatness. I always have that one thing is one thing that I'm so proud of that no matter what happened, it didn't take that from me. I knew that there was something in me that was always there to bloom. There was something in me that was always meant to be big. And in everything I do, in every step I take, I always work. I always work towards that. But in the sense of okay, how I treat myself to let other people treat me that way too, I was at zero because I didn't treat myself that much. I actually thought okay, I loved myself. Um, I was doing self-care. I was I was looking after myself. But the thing is, it's self-care goes beyond, okay, the maintaining the outer appearance. Yeah, it is actually a very vital point of it, because that was the first time when I started taking myself serious, when I started taking my self-care, I mean, even outer appearance serious. That was when I started to like actually see my value. That was when I started to put into myself. It's part of it, but it is beyond that. Self-care is beyond what the external appearance and taking care of yourself. It's also about how much do you think you're deserving? How much do you love yourself? How much do you think of yourself? Yes. Because it is the way you carry yourself, it is the way you treat yourself that will make people, that will determine how people will treat you. If you are always showering yourself love, pampering yourself, you're always carrying yourself high, no one dares to do otherwise to you, because you tell them how to treat you. But that is one thing I lacked then. That's one thing I lacked, because I had to put up with a lot. I put up with a whole lot. I accepted a lot of things I shouldn't have accepted, and there was a ripple effect for that. So that's one of the, like, my university phase. In terms of friendship, there were times that I overgave. There were times that I was the one doing the chasing. In friendship, I'm not even talking about guy issue now. The way you treat yourself, the way you position yourself will determine how people will treat you. Because I remember then I was overgiving more than I had. There is this legal magazine that you cannot give what you don't have. Then I was giving what I didn't have. I was giving what I didn't have. Because aside from little tiny stuff, like, okay, I was the one always doing the visiting. I was the one always doing the checkup, visiting, going to your rooms, and the other parties barely or never or barely, if it ever happens, and maybe like 1 or 2 times, barely came to check up on me. So those things were like, okay, they were just more were different. So it started from there. If I had positioned myself in a situation whereby, okay, I have other things to do too, I'm not the type that checks up to, then we'll be even. So those things were like, they didn't matter. Then they look at, okay, just flimsy stuff. So these things, they greater from, it's not greater from, okay, things that I considered flimsy into like some other thing, you know, getting to the fact that, okay, the other parties will be draining my energy. Then it's now got to the part where I start to receive back and compliments. You know, I was not noticing those things, but growth will make you notice the tiniest thing that matter. Before I would just, okay, I was actually concerned before too, but I'll just look at, okay, this person does not mean any harm. We're different, trying to justify the actions of the other person, trying to give excuse for the other person, before I realized that no, this was not good for me. I was not supposed to be in this space. So my low self-esteem phase at tertiary institution got across taking stuff that I was not supposed to accepting situations that I was not supposed to accept, over going overdoing things, yes, going all out for people who did not, in the real sense, deserve that much. And it was, I didn't even realize these things were destructive. I didn't realize how much harm they were causing me until I started to grow. So transitioning into, okay, the low self-esteem me into the confident me was not a day journey. And I wouldn't say it actually started from the university, because that was like the breaking point. but it has always been happening from when I was in primary school. You know, I didn't want to be the girl that decided that okay, I don't want to be the girl that I would think someone would beat anymore. So okay, I didn't even want to give this person space anymore. I didn't want to even have anything to do with this person anymore. They were just those tiny little decisions were transforming me. But the breaking point itself was when I was in at the university. So I realized even at I was in the literary and debating society then, and the way I would relate was not I wasn't really confident in myself. I was not really confident in myself. Talking, the manner of talking, the manner of speaking, the manner of carry, the manner of everything was not really good. It was not even something to write home about. So I started from the fact, okay, how do I even build confidence? That was the first step I will ever take. I started learning how to build my confidence, so how to carry myself, things to do to build confidence. That was like the first thing I started working on, my own confidence itself, how I show up. That was the first thing I started working on, courage, posture, etiquette, speaking, vocabulary, all of those things. That was the first thing I started working on. Then it's now moved into how to deal with how to deal in relationship, how to deal with people. You know, I said earlier that at a point I didn't consider myself the prize. I had a situationship at the university, and that was the only thing that I would say, okay, I had throughout my university stay. I had a situationship then, and I had a situationship, yeah, and I had an unsuccessful talking stage that was a manipulative talking stage. Indeed. So those two huge experiences with men, because I didn't have a relationship with them. I never had a relationship, but I had a situationship and I had one manipulative talking stage. So those two experiences actually formed me. They made me realize a whole lot about myself. They made me discover myself, and I'm so grateful that those two events happened in my life. Aside from the situationship with someone at the university, I like this person and I thought, okay, we could work something out, and I was taking bullshit in the sense that the other person was trying to ghost me, the other person was trying to give me hard time. We wouldn't check up. We said we were friends, we said we were good, we said we are trying to work stuff out. And it felt like at the point I was always nagging, I was always complaining to the person that you're not doing this right, you're not doing that right, you're not doing this right. I was looking for this person. I was looking for this person to do stuff for me. I was looking for this person to love me. Why would I need that? I was looking for this person to pay attention to me. Why would I need that? If I paid full attention to myself, if I loved myself so much, I don't need any other person to come and make me whole. Because if indeed I knew what I was carrying, if indeed I knew what I was carrying, I was not going to be begging anyone or be chasing anyone to come and do the right thing. If this person knew my worth, this other person wouldn't have done that. So I didn't realize all of those earlier then. I feel like it was becoming a pattern. It was becoming a pattern. It was becoming a habit. So I started to work on, okay, how do I deal with this? What is the issue? How do I work on this? Then I got to realize a lot that I was overdoing it. I was not. Then I realized what I had was low self-esteem. So if you are in that toxic relationship and you are still stuck in it, there are two possible factors, or let me say three possible factors, and they are kind of interconnected. The first factor will be you have low self-esteem. You don't think much of yourself. You don't think high of yourself. You think your life revolves around that person. You think you cannot find someone better if you leave that person. And that is low self-esteem at its highest peak. If you think, okay, what if I leave this person and I have no one else? That is low self-esteem at highest speed. Thinking your life revolves around someone, thinking you cannot get something better. You think so low, that's so low of yourself. So, baby girl, it's high time we left those things behind. It's high time. So that's it for that. If you're also in friendship and you are hurting, it is hurting you, you should leave. You should actually consider, no, I'm not saying leave outrightly, but you should actually sit down and rethink, have a rethink. So the first factor will be low self-esteem. The second factor could be as a result of you are carrying a trauma that you don't even know yourself. So have a rethink, sit with yourself, think deep. Why is the pattern recurring? Why is the pattern happening again? Why does it happen all over again? So the first person you had a relationship with was this kind of person, and another person you had a relationship with was also that kind of person, also so that kind of person. The problem is not with you. It's not a spiritual problem. It is not a village people problem. Look, what are you attracted to? Why are you attracted to them in the first instance? That might be because you have some trauma that you have to leave behind. You have some baggage that you have to drop. And the third reason, which I just found recently, they said it's hormonal. It can be hormonal, which I really have little idea about that. And the reason being that if you've had intimacy, to leave the person might be kind of difficult and all that kind of thing. Whatever it is, it is not huge reason enough to stay in a relationship that hurts you. So this might be the time, a call to action for you to sit with yourself and have a rethink. So as I was saying, I put up with a lot of bullshit in friendship, in relationship, which I never had. I said I had a situationship and I had a manipulative talking stage. That was when I discovered myself that I had some baggage to put behind. I have some some things within me that needs to be purged. They need to be purged. Then I started working on them. The first step I said to regain my confidence and put behind low self-esteem. The first thing I did was trying to work on my confidence in terms of the external confidence, in terms of the how I show up, how I speak, how I dress, how I how I how I carry myself generally. That was the first thing I started working on. Then I realized I needed to work on my relationship with people. Then why is this happening in friendship? What am I accepting in friendship that's not right for me? What are the things that I'm accepting from in situationships that is not right for me, and all of those things. So that was when I started discovering myself. And the more I discover myself, the more confident I got. And it has been a gradual process. It has been a journey since then. Now I know who I am. I know how much I think of myself. I know how much I am worth. It is even, I cannot even say this is how much I worth because I am worth more than I myself could quantify. You leaving your low self-esteem phase behind, start with how much do you think of yourself? That's it. How do you treat yourself? How do you carry yourself? Because how much you think of yourself will determine how you show up to other people. Then it will determine how much the other parties will think of you. How you carry yourself will determine how other people will view you. How you treat yourself will determine how people will treat you. How other people will treat you. If you are currently looking for someone to complete you, you're currently looking for someone to give you what you lack, then you don't love yourself. If you think, okay, until I have this man in my life is not complete yet. Then that is how much you think of yourself. Now, I'm not even talking about having a man in one's life now. I'm just using that as an example. I'm just, because it is part of life to be in a relationship. It is part of life to get married. But when it has not happened, how much do you think of yourself? That is one. And if you think, okay, if I don't have this person in my life, how am I going to survive? Then that is how much you think of yourself. If you think, okay, you're in a relationship now and the other party is the one sponsoring your life, and you feel if the person is no more, then you will be fine. That is thinking to love yourself. You will be fine, baby girl. That shows that you need to start working more on yourself. There is a thin line between being the soft baby that is being pampered and taken care of, and also having the ability to take care of yourself if the other party is not taking care of you. So those little things say much about how much we think about ourselves. It says much. They say much about our esteem value, our esteem level. So if you really want to move from having low self-esteem to being a full confident woman, you really need to take yourself serious. You really need to think high of yourself. You really need to start pouring into yourself, loving yourself. You might not have the financial resources yet to travel abroad, to go on vacations, to even do much, because these days everyone is doing it for the aesthetics. But really, do you really have the financial capacity to do all of that thing? It's even part of low self-esteem. If you really want to live a soft baby life for the aesthetics, it's part of low self-esteem. You are just seeking unnecessary validation. So take care of yourself within your own capacity. It is where you are that the other person will meet you. Let's say for instance now, if you're if you can't even pay your bill for TFL, let's say you're going on a date now. If the other person offers to, that's fine. But you yourself, as you're leaving the house, you should have enough money that will take you to that place and take you back. Then if the other person offers to, okay, that's upon us. But I know that I have my money in case that doesn't happen, to go there and to come back. If you don't have that money, sit at home. So those little care, don't let me divert. How you think of yourself, how you treat yourself will determine your esteem level. If you don't have the financial capacity yet to go on vacations, to even go on solo dates or whatever, start with little self pampering in your own time. Do body care for yourself to feel better, and think high of yourself, love yourself. When you walk like someone that loves herself. When you speak like someone that loves herself. When you carry yourself like someone that loves herself. Let people see that no, this person is high value, in the sense that I can't play with this person because she knows who she is. I can't even toy with her. And in the other sense too, if you're looking for someone that will come and okay take you out, we will come and take care of you, give you the supply, babe. There will be a level that you yourself you are already for that person to meet you and really respect you. Let's say at least maybe one or two times you've taken yourself out on solo dates or with your girls. When a man comes in, offers that okay, I want to take you to this dining. You don't know, okay, I've been there before. Like the conversation will be different, will be on another level. Because when you're discussing, be like, okay, I've been there before, the place is nice. I've been there before, the place is like this. It's very from the way the person will view you will be different. It's like saying, okay, I've been to this 3-star dining before. I've been to that 3-star dining before. I've been to also this 3-star dining before. The other person that is coming will not want to take you to 3-star again. We want to take you to 4-star. And if you say, okay, you've been to 4-star before, the person wants to take you to 5-star. That's how it is. But you've never been to a star before and you want to be taken to 5-star. Life doesn't work that way. They won't be respecting it. Certainly. So treat yourself right within your own capacity. Don't live for the aesthetics, because when you start to live for the aesthetics, that's when you are even showing how low you are in your esteem, because now you're seeking validation. You're just trying to give the impression of, okay, the soft girl. No, don't misquote me, because the way you brand yourself, the way you package yourself also determines how people will will see you. But at the same time, that should not be at your own detriment. It should not be okay because you want those people to see me. It's because you don't want people to bring bad energy to you, so that you have the experience. I really hope you can understand me. Yeah. When you are even living for the aesthetics, don't live don't live soft life just because you want to seek other person's validation. Live that soft life within your own means. Don't hurt your pockets, that you now end up blaming yourself for it, that you will end up being in bad state because of it. Do it wisely. You are giving yourself the soft life. Give it to yourself, because you know that even sometimes you may want to do YOLO, that okay, my last card, I'm using it to give myself the soft life. Do it for yourself, not for anyone. And also, you may actually, when you're doing it for people, you may do it for the branding, that okay, at least for the experience. When someone else wants to do this to me, I will know that I will have an experience. I will know that I have done this before for myself. So, if you want to leave your low self-esteem phase behind and be fully confident, start working on your confidence first. You know how you show up, how you care for yourself, how you carry yourself. Then start pouring into yourself. Yeah. Start taking yourself seriously. As I said earlier, I have to reiterate this. Start taking yourself serious. Start loving yourself more. Start paying attention to yourself, who you really are. Start paying attention to your growth, how you have been evolving over the years. Start noticing patterns. Okay, what did I do wrong here? What did I condone here that I shouldn't have condoned? Start studying patterns. That way you keep evolving. Growth is not defined, it's not like a one destination thing, that okay, I just decide one day that I want to stop being this kind of person, I want to become this better version of myself, and you will just get there. It's a lifetime thing. Today you feel like, okay, I want to be able to have this level of comfortability, I want to be able to have this level of lifestyle. If you get there, when you get to that point, you still say that okay, I want to get to this point. So it's a lifelong process. Growth is a lifelong process. It doesn't stop at one point. And at the same time, healing too doesn't stop at one point. You heal gradually, you grow gently and gradually. If it's okay, I want to put behind my low self-esteem days. It's a gradual step. It's a gradual process. Don't be too hard on yourself that okay, you just want to get there. You just don't want people to be dealing with you anyhow. You don't want people to be treating you like this. You have enough of it and you just want to stop one day. No, you have to keep studying the patterns. Okay, where did things go wrong? What happened? What did I condone that I shouldn't have condoned? You have to study the pattern. Then what should you correct? What should you stop accepting? Then you start putting it into action. And while you're putting it into action, you may fall back again and not do the right thing, or not even do it right. Don't stress it. It's a process. The first thing you have to do is take a decision that okay, I really want to stop being this person. And that was the first thing I did. I took a decision that I'm working on my confidence level. I'm working on, I knew my worth. I knew that I have always been this extraordinary woman, but I have not been putting it into action. I really need to start putting it into action. It is not only about um, becoming rich. It's not only about becoming that big woman, but it also includes how I see myself. It always includes how I deal with people, how I let people deal with me. So this is indeed a journey, and it doesn't stop here. I still have a lot to work on, and I'm always learning. I'm always I'm always evolving. I am always growing, and I love this stage of my life because I've come so far. I have transformed over the years. I have transformed, huge transformation, and I'm so proud that I am at that point in my life where I knew that the only thing, I don't know, I said it in the last episode too, that the only thing, that the major thing that I know that, okay, I have not I have not reached yet now is the financial state, is that financial status, like me, where I really want to reach. But I've also grown over the years because that will actually open ways for many options for me. It will open ways for, it will give me options. That's like, it will give me options. That is like that is the aim now. Not really the main aim, but that's one of the big aims now, because reaching that financial status will give me more options. But until then, this status, I am maximizing it as much as possible. I am utilizing it as much as possible. Resourcefulness, that is the state I am. Whatever I have, I make do of it in a big way. Wherever I am currently, I make use of it in a big way. I don't take chances. I don't. If I have something as little as this, I don't treat it as little as this. I treat it very big, and that is something I'm very much proud about myself. And it's a learning curve. It has been a learning curve. So, my baby girl, you're growing, you are evolving, you are healing, and it doesn't stop here. And you won't get there just once. It is a gradual process. Trust the process, follow the process, embrace the journey. You will certainly get there. And until then, I am rooting for you now, then, and forever. This is my growth story, Unscripted. Thank you for tuning in.